As Zambians, we need change, freedom of expression and equal opportunity for every citizen. Sorry, Patrick. Patrick, I've gone live. Just give me the box for the president and the SG. I can't see it. We'll do the song later. Volume. Okay. Taide Lila, play it quickly. No, it's not. I would have heard it from the speakers. It's not playing. You see, it's not playing. I think they had to download. Hello, Patrick. Patrick, Tairedi and Ninja for speakers here. Is it playing on live? Huh? Takuri volume. I can even hear from my Facebook page. Sort that out. I think it hasn't downloaded. Then give me the box for the president and the SG. Give me the... Okay, I can hear it. Okay, now it's playing. Now, where is the box for the president as I go live? Epola Sochite. Okay, and then where is my box? Good day and welcome to today's broadcast. We are glad that you are joining us. Today we're privileged that we are hosting, the Socialist Party of Zambia, the top leadership, Dr. Fred Membe, who's president, and the first vice president and general secretary, Dr. Cosmas Musumali, who will be having a wonderful discussion on the state of our country. What could be the proposed solutions? How can we come out of the various crises that our country is facing? And who is the Socialist Party? There are myths and suspicions and prejudices against the party. Today I've got the top leadership. They are willing and ready to discuss anything and everything that is progressive for our country. It's been 1 month and 12 days since we lost Zambia's sixth president, Dr. Edgar Chagwa. President Hakainde Hichilema stopped the funeral and burial of the late president when he took the matter to court. And the matter are currently in the Pretoria High Court. Tomorrow, the 18th, many Zambians think that there will be a judgment. There's no ruling or judgment tomorrow. Tomorrow is just one of the issues in the calendar of events. The Attorney General made submissions regarding why they felt that the remains of the late president must be repatriated to Zambia. They cited public interest. They cited traditions of how Zambia has kept the funerals, handled the funerals of the late presidents. And the family responded that the country was hostile. The government of President Hakainde Hichilema was hostile, and it was their wish that for the moment that President Edgar Lungu lies in South Africa. So tomorrow is a deadline for the Attorney General to make a response to the former First Lady's rebuttal on why she wants the late president to be buried in South Africa. Today we saw elements that we know. They call themselves progressive forces of South Africa. There's nothing progressive about them. These are elements of the UPND. I was ambassador in South Africa. I can confidently speak about this because I dealt with elements like this. So the UPND and President Hakainde Hichilema, in their quest to promote the continued negative attacks on the late president, scandalizing the family, scandalizing a dead man, held this event at Santon Convention Center, and they say they'll be marching to union buildings. All this will be available. I brought this matter because for the first time I'm bringing Dr. Fred Membe and Dr. Cosmas Musumali, the top leadership of the Socialist Party. Let me invite them to this discussion. Dr. Fred Membe, good day and thank you for giving us an opportunity to discuss this matter. Let's start just with your views and I think your commiseration regarding the late President, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu.
It's sad to lose someone you have known for more than 46 years, 47 years. I've known President Edgar Lungu since 1978. He was not President Lungu there. He was simply Edgar to me. He was Mwana. We have had a period of more than 7 years, from 2014 until 2023, without seeing each other or talking to each other. Since Mr. Sata died, I'd never had a conversation or a phone call with Edgar. The first time I met him was in October 2023 on a plane. We were coming from the inauguration of President Mnangagwa, and I was sitting behind him. So we chatted for the 40 minutes or so flight from Harare to Lusaka. He wanted to talk about politics. I said, Mwana, let's not talk about politics for now. Me and you have not been talking to each other for more than 7 years. Things went horribly wrong between the two of us. Let's deal with that first. I don't want, if I die today, you are not able to come to my funeral because you don't know how my people receive you. He said to me in his usual joking style, no, Mwana, you are not dying anytime soon. I said, all of us will die, including yourself. I don't want when you die, I'm not able to come to your funeral because I don't know how your people receive me. From there, we started talking to each other, exchanging text messages, and so on. To lose him in the way we lost him is very sad. To lose someone you have known for a long time, who you thought maybe will leave you on this planet, or you may perish the same day, to lose him in such a way that I found it to be reckless. I have no doubt on my mind that if Edgar was allowed to attend medical services as they fell due, he would still be with us today. That's my belief. I'm not a doctor, but I think he would still have had some life in him. But he was denied the right to attend medical services. To deny someone medical services is to kill the person. So those who denied Edgar medical services, they are responsible for his death. I'm not saying he was not going to die. None of us will live here forever. We are going to die one way or the other. But here is a question of when one dies. His life could have been prolonged. It's cruel. It's extreme cruelty to deny someone medical services. And then after that person dies, you want to lead his burial. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't sound humane. It's immoral, actually. There is need for people to have restraint. People should realize that, the exercise of power must be a constant exercise of self-limitation and modesty. Every family has the right to bury their dead. The life and the death of a person, first and foremost, belongs to his family. Yes, we are born in a bigger community, we are born in a nation. But the first responsibility over our lives, including our death, is the family in which we are born. Even Christ had a family. He had his mother, Mary. He had his father, Joseph, on earth. That means a family is very important to someone. We have a case in Nigeria. Former president of Nigeria, General Buhari, has been buried behind his house, in his backyard, by his family. The pictures are there for all to see. Yes, he's a Muslim. Edgar was a Christian. But we are all Africans. We are all Africans. And we belong to the Commonwealth. Our laws are similar in many respects. Why are they so insistent on having the rights over Edgar's body, when they had no right over his life? They repudiated him in life. They humiliated him in life. What dignity do they want to give to his body? Is his body more important than his life? They humiliated him. They treated him in the most unfair of ways. I don't think they have a right, and I have no doubt, and even themselves know it, that the South African courts will not rule their way. And that's why they are hiring all sorts of unscrupulous elements to go and demonstrate, to go and protest for the return of Edgar's body to Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, as if Mr. Hichilema owned Edgar. They were burying the former vice president in South Africa. In South Africa, the burial was only attended by family members. They excused themselves, please remain here. We are going to bury our dead. We'll find you when we come back. Everybody remained in South Africa. And that's where we have taken the case. I fail to understand the desperation of our government. I fail to understand the desperation of Mr. Hakainde Hichilema over Edgar's body. What do they want to do with it? For what? What honor do they want to give him that they didn't give him in his life? Was he treated honorably up to the time he died? He was stripped of every form of honor. Deliberately so, intentionally so. It was not an oversight, it was deliberate. And they explained why they removed all sorts of honors from him. Why do they want to give it to him in death? Let Edgar's family bury him the way they want. If they want us to attend, we'll attend. If they say, no, this is closed, we'll only have invitations, we'll respect that. Even in me, I'll have no quarrel if I'm excluded from burying him. Even if it's something that we had resolved with Edgar, that if I die, he'll bury me. If he dies, I'll bury him. But if the Lungu family today decides only a few selected people they want to attend should attend, I'll respect that. And I'll have no quarrel with them. They have every right to do so. This behavior is leading to unnecessary speculation. If you are wanga, if you are ingira monomba. And you can't blame people for thinking that way. Why should you insist to have a board of someone who is not your relative, who is not even your friend, somebody you hated? I can't.
Indeed, Mr. President, we've become a ridicule of the region. Yeah, we've become a ridicule of the region. You are aware.
Died before he became president. I don't think his family would have allowed Edgar Lungu to attend his funeral, even if he was head of state. I doubt it.
Yeah. Indeed, Mr. President, we seem
I
to
think
have.
they would have been right.
Yeah, we seem to have become.
Given the relationship that was there between Hakainde and Edgar before Hakainde became president, it would have been justified for Hakainde's family to deny Edgar access to his funeral. It would have been justified.
Yeah.
People should be buried by their friends. People should be mourned by their friends. People should be buried by their relatives. People should be mourned by their relatives. One has no business to attend a funeral that is not his.
Thank you, Mr. President. I was saying we've become a ridicule of the region. You are aware that there were interventions from Zimbabwe. President Emerson Mnangagwa sent his vice president. He was given assurances that President Hichilema will handle this matter and will discuss with the family. There was even former President Jacob Zuma who offered and flew to Zambia, and he was denied landing rights to come and attempt to resolve this matter. We've become a spectacle in the manner we've handled this funeral. I think we haven't handled it very well. Mr. President, we'll quickly go to the state of our country. I think I will invite your General Secretary first to give us an overview of, from the Socialist Party point of view, the state of our country. And I think then we pick it up from there. Honorable Dr. Musumali, I invite you to give your remarks.
Thank you very much again, and it's a privilege to be on this platform. It's the first time the President and I are appearing here, and we don't take this for granted. And we appreciate the fact that we are able, through this platform, to share some of our ideas, our principles, and also what we foresee for this country. So the question is, what do we think about Zambia today? Zambia finds itself in a deep crisis. This is an economic crisis, political crisis, moral, I would even say spiritual crisis. The Zambia of today is not providing the economic services, the economic comfort, the jobs that are needed by its citizens. If you talk to Zambians everywhere and ask them, how are your lives? There's something called hunger. And hunger is on the lips of all Zambians, wherever you go, whether you're in the Copper Belt, Lusaka, Southern Province, everywhere. Despite the rains having been fair to us, and people have had a good harvest, but if you grow maize, that's not sufficient, because not every Zambian grows maize, so you have to buy it. And where's the money going to come from? You have maybe 1.5 million households producing that maize, yet you have altogether 22 million Zambians. So there are a good proportion of Zambians, despite the bumper harvest, that are starving. And Zambia is one of the most hungriest countries in the world today. So there's no solution. 4 years is gone. 1 more year to go to the next general elections. And when it comes to food security, food sovereignty of our people, I would grade the current government at 0, not even 1 out of 10. Are we creating jobs for this economy? No. There are no jobs being created here. The civil service, in as much as it's hiring people, but this is routine. If you take out the number of people that are retiring and then factor in those that are coming in, you still have a negative attrition. So jobs are not being created in Zambia. How many private sector jobs, sustainable jobs, are being created? There are very, very few. You have a situation of those that are in business today. And when you talk to a lot of businesses, especially Zambian-owned small businesses, they will tell you that the business environment is miserable. There isn't cash, there isn't enough liquidity going around this country to sustain the type of business our Zambians are involved in. And those in services, for example, Normal services are said to be a little bit recession-proof in certain areas, even when, for example, the real sector with commodities and so forth are doing badly. But even services today are terrible in shape. So the financial sector is not doing well. Insurance is not doing well. You get into consulting services, they are not doing well. And how would they do well if the rest of the economy is not doing that well? You can't point to one particular driver today of the economy that you say this is performing extremely well. They are pointing to copper mining, for example, or to mining in general. But mining, who owns the minerals? Who owns the mines? These are foreign owned. And how much money are we getting out of them? We are giving them all the mineral royalties and everything else. We don't own what we call our minerals. They are not our minerals, because if we owned them, we would be getting the best, we would be getting the dividends from them, but we are not doing that today. If you talk about the economy again, we are in crisis. Politically, this country has never been that divided before. So the politics of Zambia are about vengeance, about arrogance. These are politics which we haven't seen ever since independence. This country is fragmented today. It's divided along regional lines. Yes, Zambia has had that since independence, but this is heightened. This is a situation that in living memory is actually frightening. And we do not see the leadership capable of moderating it, of steering the course. If anything, the leadership is the problem. Hakainde himself and the UPND are a liability to this country. So politically, we are not doing that well. That's why we are even not able to allow the burial of a former president. Even that is an issue. The opening statement from President Membe here has elaborated how naive, arrogant, insensitive Hakainde and his government are. Socially, morally, spiritually, we are not there as a country. And there's a lot of infighting. There's a lot of insults being traded everywhere. And the government is taking the lead in doing that. People of God, church leaders are being insulted. They are being called all names. They are being called, they are the Lucifers and all that. Where have we ever heard that before? So we find ourselves in a country that is literally on autopilot. Autopilot at least is being steered. But in this case, we are moving into circles, a vicious circle. So again, from the Socialist Party point of view, Hakainde and the UPND are a failed project, a one-term project. And Zambians are not dumb. The young people that voted in millions in 2021 are the ones that have lost out quite a lot. And these are complaining on a day-to-day basis. They may not be vocal, they may not be part of the vuvuzelas that are out there saying all is well. But time is coming, and we only have a year to go.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. General Secretary, Dr. Cosmas Musumali. Let me bring in the President again. When you listen to President Hakainde Hichilema, I took time yesterday when he officiated at an investment forum. Sadly, it was, attended by mostly civil servants than investors. But the point is, when you listen to him, he's very hopeful that he has put the country on the right path. He's saying the target for export of copper will reach 1 million. He says he has resolved the crisis in the mining sector, Luansha Mine, KCM, Mopani, and he says Barrick Gold and First Quantum are investing $1.2 billion and $1.3 billion respectively. He says he's resolved issues like Kalengwa Mine. Then he touts himself the issues of CDF, that he has brought money to the districts or to where the people are, and that he has done recruitment of these health and teachers. And he claims he has brought peace in the country. Mr. President, I want you to speak to those issues.
Thank you very much. These small eyes of mine, these tired eyes of mine have seen the evolution of many things. But what I'm seeing today is frightening. What I'm seeing today can lead to despair. If one's objectives are not very clear, one can give up. The statistics from Darmstadt for the 2022 Living Standard Survey tell it all. Poverty in this country has moved from 54% to 60%. That's the average national poverty. Rural poverty has moved from 76.6% to 78.8%. Urban poverty has moved from 23.4% to 38.9%. The poorest province today, which is the province where I come from, Muchinga, has poverty levels of 82.6%. The poverty has increased from 69.3 to 82.6%. Poverty in Lusaka, the capital province, has moved from 20.2 to 27%. Poverty on the Copper Belt has moved from 30.8% to 35.9%. These are statistics from Darmstadt, a government agency. They are not from my head. What people are looking for is not ideas in my head or ideas in Mr. Hichilema's head. What people are looking for is an improvement in their living conditions, an improvement in their material conditions. They want to live better and in peace. And they are seeking this for themselves and their children and children's children. It's not what Mr. Hichilema claims that really matters, or what I may claim to be the situation that really matters. What matters is what the people feel. How do they feel about the life they live? Have their material conditions on a day-to-day basis improved? Are they living better than they lived before? Are they living in peace? With these poverty levels, there can't be peace in the home. There can't be a better life in our households. If there are improvements in this economy, if there are improvements in the living standards of our people would say so. Our people are generous people. Our people don't actually want to tell each other that things are not well. The general thing with our people is if you greet them, even if they have not eaten for 2 days, Mulishani, we know. Everything is fine to them. When you started to hear them saying things are not okay, it means things are very bad. Umuzambia nangu aline nsala talire 2 days wa musanga munchila mulishani bane wino kulishani kunganda fine. But when you start hearing them complain about suffering, know that things are not well. Mr. Hichilema doesn't need to sing about how well this country is doing if it was doing well. You don't hear the Chinese leaders boast about how well they are doing, because they are doing well. You don't hear the European leaders boast about how well their people are living, even though they live better than us. Why is Mr. Hichilema trying to paint a picture That is not there. That the people are supposed to be the recipients of this development are not talking about. It's only him talking about it and a few of his praise singers. There's something seriously wrong. As Dr. Musumali has pointed out also, politically, socially, we are in trouble. I've been in this country for more than 6 decades. I've never seen this level of tribalism that I'm seeing today. And I'm not a person who comes from one tribe. No, I come from 10 ethnicities in this country, across 4 provinces. But I've never seen this level of tribalism. And who is heading this tribalism? Who is responsible for this tribalism? Those who want to point out that there's a division in our country, there's tribalism in our country, they are arrested and prosecuted. And mainly those being prosecuted for such offenses are from one region of the country. Are they the tribalists? Pointing out tribalism is being a tribalist. It's hate speech. If pointing out tribalism is hate speech, then I'm guilty. Come and arrest me.
Yes, Mr. President. It is very clear. In fact,
I
President
live in a family
Hakainde
of many ethnicities.
Yeah, President Hakainde Hichilema has even crafted these new, oppressive laws that literally criminalizes any discussion on ethnicity and tribe. When you point out his tribal appointments, you be called tribal. They will accuse you of tribalism. When you expose, how entrenched the practice of tribalism is in his government, we have the cases of Munia Zulu and Maureen Mawonga, who are actually, jailed for pointing out the tribalism or or condemning the tribal talk. This brings me to the issue. What should be the solution to our country? I think there is an agreement that the state of our country is in, despite the hopeful messages from President Hakainde Hichilema, the state of the country is without dispute in a terrible crisis. What should be done? Many are pointing to the opposition as a solution, but then they accuse you that you are fragmented, that you want to work in isolation, that you're not coming together, that you are Zambians even have an ideal situation where they hope that the opposition can front one candidate. What, as a Socialist Party, discuss this matter? What is the view of you, the top leadership? Either of you can take up this matter. I think I'll give you a lot of time on it.
Ambassador Mwamba, the first step in solving any problem is to admit its existence. If you want to deal with the tribalism, you have to admit that there is tribalism in the country. If you deny it when it does exist, you will never be able to solve it. The second thing in solving the economic challenges of our people is to admit that our people are not living well, than to pretend that everything is well, the economy is doing well. If you don't admit a problem, you will not be in a position to tackle it effectively. And also, you will not be able to solve these problems as a leader on your own, because these problems have to be solved with the people. There's no single MacGyver who can deal with the problems, the challenges our people are facing today. What we are seeking is not a single genius. We are looking for a collective genius. ababe mbabatira infu mushitunguru lafye abakita ifintu abateeka bantu. And if you are telling people there is no problem, the problem has been solved by you, the MacGyver, the fixer, what will the people come to do? But we know when people don't come to participate in solving problems of any community, of any society, of any nation, the leaders will not be in a position to do that alone. These challenges are deep. The reality is sombre. And sometimes I fear and feel the impotence of our leaders facing these challenges that sometimes appear to have no solutions. But to accept that would be to renounce life itself. Whatever the difficulties, whatever the challenges, we must not give up. It gets dark sometimes, but the morning comes. Bulaira no kucha. So these problems need unity. Unity of the opposition, unity of all our people. Unity of the business people, unity of the religious leaders, unity of the traditional leaders, in addition to the unity of the political players. We need the participation of all our leaders. And the politician is not the only leader. We have traditional leaders, these are authentic leaders of our people. We have religious leaders, these are authentic leaders of our people. We have business leaders, these are authentic leaders of our people. We have the intellectuals. We have the trade unionists. We have those in the cooperatives. And we have those in the diaspora. This country needs the participation even of those in the diaspora. For those in the diaspora to participate, they don't need to come back to Zambia. We actually don't need them now here. They will do much better being where they are, but participating in so many ways in what is going on. We need more research institutes in which our intellectuals who are in the diaspora can participate without coming here. I have a friend of mine, a former classmate of mine, Professor Mr. Charles Malata, one of the best top surgeons, plastic surgeons in the UK. I was with him from 4, from 5 at St. Francis Secondary School, Malole. He was the best student of that year. We came with him to UNZA, finished. He did his master's at UNZA, medicine, went to the UK, Cambridge, finished his PhD. Even if we brought Charles Malata back to Lusaka, to Zambia, what is he going to do? But Charles can participate in the affairs of this country by leading one of the research institutes in plastic surgery. And the government should pay for that. Probably will not even be able to pay him. There are many, many Zambians in the diaspora who this government, our government, successive governments, not only this government, cannot account for. Don't know even what they are doing. Don't know even that they are Zambians. So even if they came back, what are we going to do with them? And they will frustrate them and kill them with depression. But they still can contribute. We want all our people to participate. And to do that, it's not just changing a president, changing the party in power. Kuchinja emitekere, te kuchinja fechi panichireteka nakatika, kuchinja emitekere. This country needs a different type of governance. A governance that increases the participation of our people. Right now, the participation of our people is very limited. That's why we have even a constitution being pushed by a small group of people. One man and his followers pushing a constitution on the entire population. And you call that participation? Even the Concord had to tell him there's no participation of people in what you are doing. Go back and solicit participation. And today he's trying all sorts of tricks to evade the decision of the Concord to ensure that people participate. He wants us to participate on his terms in a fake way. That's not the way to govern the country. Opposition unity, the Socialist Party wants opposition unity. We socialists have always worked in a united front. Wherever we have worked, and every stage in history. Whether you look at the Bolshevik Revolution, the Bolsheviks worked in a united front. The Socialists worked in a united front. When there's a Chinese Revolution that trumped in 1949, they worked in a united front. In fact, Chairman Mao had to put his forces under the command of Kai-shek, who had killed his family members, who had killed his wife. He had to subordinate himself to the command of somebody's wife in order to defeat Japanese imperialism. Whether you look at the Cuban Revolution, it's a product of a united front. What is going on in Venezuela is a product of a united front. President Lula in Brazil wouldn't have won the elections if it wasn't the work of a united front. We are more experienced in the politics of the united front, complicated and difficult as they may be, but they are inevitable for us. A vanguard cannot win an election on its own. So we are ready to participate in a united front with others. And we are ready to put our forces, our cadres, to the leadership of others. He or she who is not ready to be led by others is not fit to lead others. That's what we believe in.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. I'll bring in Dr. Cosmas Musumali. Would there be an issue of coming together, the intricacies, for example, regarding future policies, if the United Front, if, for example, Citizen First, Zambia Must Prosper, the Patriotic Front, and others came together, would there be an issue of economic policy differences? For example, the Socialist Party leans more to what we would call the left. There could be liberal parties that you might be joining hands and forces. Could that be an issue to why, for example, we haven't seen a united front so far? And why at this stage have we left behind other social formations like trade unions, the church, and youths, student groups? Why do we seem to have left them behind? We seem to be talking about this unity just at the top of political parties. Dr. Musumali.
Maybe before Dr. Musumali comes in, Ambassador.
That's okay. That's okay. You can come in.
Let me set one principle under which we operate. We do not put our ideology above human beings. We put human beings above our ideology. Ideology is simply a framework to use, a methodology to use in service of our people. People are more important than ideology. Our people are more important than our party. They are more important than the Socialist Party. So at no time have we ever put or thought of putting our people below our ideology. I wanted to make that clear. So given that we have no problems working with anybody, what our people are interested in is not the ideology we are pursuing in our heads. It's the improvement in their living conditions, in their material conditions. That's what our people are looking for. And that's paramount to us. And it guides our actions. It guides our policies.
So, taking it up from there, you are asking whether that could be a problem. Maybe let me state that actually there's a lot of work that has already begun. So if you find yourselves in a crisis, your house is on fire, the first issue you do is to quench the fire. And once that is done, then you can ask other questions and move on to other agenda. So we said Zambia is in a political crisis. And that political crisis requires unity of purpose. And that unity of purpose transcends our ideological differences. We talked of, here's a country that is divided. Here's a government that is destroying all basic tenets of democracy. Here is a situation where if we gave this sitting government today another 5 years, there will be no Zambia left worth talking about after that. And indeed, given that crisis, we have to bundle, we have to come together and ensure that this government comes out. So we need that united front. We need that working together to resolve this issue, because otherwise none of us, none of the political players will ever get the chance to be able to implement their ideologies or their programs. So we have to come up with something that's transitional, something that helps the Zambians to move forward, and that will help us also as a political party to move forward. Over the past 4 years, we have applied more than 27 times to hold a rally. How many times have we been given the go-ahead? None, 0. Basically, what we are being told is that as a socialist party, we do not deserve, or we are not going to be given any chance to sell our manifesto, our ideas to the Zambian masses. So why are we in politics? You have basically a dictatorship that is rooted within Zambian society that must be taken out if we ever stand a chance to communicate our ideology to the Zambian masses. So again, there is need, first of all, to ensure the UPND government is taken out of power. That's the first milestone. And as we discuss with the other political parties and other players, we are building that unity, that consensus over that issue. One, let's stop the constitutional reform. Because if these constitutional changes that they want go through, then you can forget about the 2026 elections. They would have secured themselves through hook and crook the majority that they need. Again, one, let's stop the constitutional changes. Number two, 2026, let's ensure the UPND is voted out of power. And let's have a government that comprises of the different political forces take over the state apparatus. And then that government has to ensure that it has got certain deliverables, certain milestones over the 5 years. One of them is a constitution for the people of Zambia, by the people of Zambia. The second one is to stabilize this economy to an extent where Zambians will feel like they're not second-class citizens in their own country. There's the issue of ownership. Today, what you get is that multinationals are taking over the running of this country. They are the ones that are benefiting from the proceeds, from the natural resources of this country. Mr. Hakainde and his people are basically selling this country off to themselves and to the multinationals. We have to reclaim Zambia. Number three, we have to ensure that politically, regionally, we try to bring sanity to this country. Number four, there are issues of governance. Corruption is rampant. If we had talked of corruption in the past, the one we have today is much worse than what we had before that. So there are a number of issues that must be done in that 5-year period that will give us the sanity, a little bit of chance to breathe and behave like political parties or political actors. Before that, it doesn't benefit any one of us if we are fragmented. So as a Socialist Party, we mean it and we are walking the talk. The President and I have spent a lot of our time over the past months now organizing, listening, consulting on a united front. You are talking about the ideologies. There are certain things that can be done in the 5 years after 2026 in terms of education, in terms of health, in terms of water, sanitation, and all those aspects of life that matter. We can agree on a transitional economic program that gives power to the Zambians and also ensures that macroeconomic stability does not work against the working masses of this country. Can we strike that deal? The answer is yes. We don't have options because that's what Zambians want. Zambians want to see that unity. There's an issue that you are raising that apart from political parties, are you leaving out everyone else? The answer is we shouldn't, and we must never do that because politicians alone, our political parties brought together, but without the trade unions being on board, without the cooperative movement being on board, civil society tagging along, or actually being part and parcel of that change, there's not going to be success in 2026. So we are busy. We may not be saying it everywhere, but we are busy contacting the traditional leaders. We are busy talking to the church leaders. We are busy talking to trade union leaders. Is it an easy undertaking? It will never be an easy undertaking because this country is divided, is fragmented, but we have made progress. From October last year up to today, I think we have made a lot of progress that was not there before. As a Socialist Party, we were inhibited to some extent by requirements that we needed, a go-ahead that we needed from Congress to work together, even enter into partnerships with other political forces. But Congress gave us the go-ahead. We had our Congress in September, and from October up to today, we have been working seriously around that. Are we in this united front in order to become the president, the vice president, this and that? We are nothing without Zambia. So being a president, being a minister, being this can never and should never be the ultimate aim of our participation in the politics of our country. There's more to be done. There are ideas to be shared. There are processes to be put in place. There are institutions of governance that must be set up. And there's work for everyone. And also, as President Membe alluded to, we should turn away from this, the president takes it all. The president cannot be the MacGyver. And also this focus on one particular individual, as if having a president, then you have created like a demigod who has all the answers. It never works that way. So we are looking at a group of leaders that will work together with the civil society, with the traditional leaders, with the trade union leaders, and everyone else in a much more collective way. That's where the solution is. Again, it's power of the people. We have to involve the people of Zambia in running their country. And that's the only way we can beat the UPND government. We can remove them out of power and start creating a Zambia that offers better chances to its people than what we have today.
Thank you. I'll throw the same question to the President, although you've answered it very adequately. We need to just backtrack. I think the reason Zambians want the opposition united is the state of the country. We are in a very desperate state. Look at the load shedding. I think the worst load shedding we've had in the last 60 years. Look at the cost of living crisis. Again, the worst cost of living crisis in living memory. Then President Hakainde Hichilema's own broken promises. He promised heaven and earth, and he has not delivered even a stone. Then I think what alarms people like you, myself, and others are his economic policies, his heavy reliance on foreign investment and multinationals, as we've seen. They're the biggest beneficiary in our economy. And he has relied more on loans. He has borrowed, I think, more and faster than any government before. Honorable Msokotwane was releasing the details of the borrowing so far. Yes, I think borrowed up to $3.5 to $4 billion in a space of 3.5 years. The state of the country is quickly looking to the opposition to provide solution because they fear another 5 years with President Hakainde Hichilema. We might not have a country to remain with. So, Mr. President, I throw this question back to you. The burden to remove this government is being placed on your shoulders, you, the opposition leaders. But do you recognize the immense responsibility the people are giving you? Are you putting urgent attention to that matter? Thank you.
Ambassador, ekibemba kitila umwewo wa muntu waba mukutwi. A person's life is in the ear. One who is not willing to listen will not avoid a lot of problems, will get into more problems, and probably even meet untimely death. Vatila ukuture tomfwa indivu. An idiot does not hear the warning bells. People are every day telling us, you people in the opposition, unite. I was watching the other day your program. The callers were emphatic. And you hear this wherever you go. If we are truly trying to save the people, and not ourselves, how can we fail not to listen to what the people are saying? People are telling us, you people in the opposition, unite. We have to learn to take orders from the people. We also have to learn and accept to be led by the people. The people themselves are leading us into this united front. Yes, the people have not given us a blueprint on how this should be implemented. They have simply made a demand. There's no blueprint. It's a complex process, but we have to deal with it. Leadership is not about simple things. Leadership is about dealing with the complications of society, challenges of society, the burdens of society. You have to carry them on your head, on your shoulders. Do we have a ready-made answer on how this opposition unity will be achieved? No, we don't have. We have to put our foot in the water. We have to step on the stone to know how it feels. There were certain things we thought were easy when we embarked on this program in October last year. But we are realizing that, things are complicated. We have to do more listening than talking. And we have listened a lot to our people, to our colleagues in the opposition. There are very few people in the opposition we have not met as leaders of the Socialist Party. There are people we have dealt with who some people were saying you can't deal with those people. But unfortunately, the ones who are telling us that you can't deal with those people are our political opponents. Why should an opponent dictate to us who we should deal with? When your opponent wants to choose your friends, your allies for you, then you know there's something wrong. There are people who have come to me saying you can't deal with the PF. They had closed your newspaper, they had mistreated you. The newspaper you buy sele. You buy street. What is troubling you? I don't have issues. If we take life that way, we'll never be able to deal with anybody. Nibanga narufyanya ine. Who have forgiven me. And where am I going to take these people who mistreated me? Where am I going to take them? Which planet? I have to remove them from this country. I have no choice. I have to deal with everybody. And our people want us to deal with this, with everybody. The members of the Socialist Party want us, the leaders, to deal with everybody. The supporters of the Socialist Party want us to deal with everybody. And we will deal with everybody.
Sorry, thank you, Mr. President. I'll give you, Mr. President, I'll give you 5 minutes just to drink water, and when we come back on the other side, I open the phone lines. We pick a few phone calls from our people, and then you respond. Then we begin to see how we can close down. So, members of the public, I'm inviting you to call. The number is listed on there. I'm hosting Socialist Party top leadership, Dr. Fred Membe, who's the president, and the first vice president, Dr. Cosmas Musumali, who's also the general secretary of the Socialist Party. We are having a discussion about the state of our country, the solutions for our country, and the opposition unity that Zambians are calling for. The numbers are already buzzing, so I'm just giving a few minutes to our leaders to drink some water, and I'll bring them over.
Amita pendwa ya vintu visume vyote bula kuibukisha kana depotimo wimbo wa temenu wa katongi abazunga batita katongi nagula kuibukisha kateka kaibukubuna kapona neseko siove pamenzo yangu maume baya kiyaba maume ya maume kateka wabantu twakulira lelo twakulira shikakukonke milimo shove ale filamba fiena minta pengosile leti kumemo kula dolole avale lilo wingi
iseko wingi mwakwete iseso wingi mwakwete mwaya mwende wino tata wesu
katusi muchibotege wali bomba kale lomba mwatuja tulelilake Ukula bevyo wa wachita obwingi ebisebo wapangire obwingi okukinja oluzago kumone
As Zambians, we need change, freedom of expression and equal opportunity for every citizen.
What we see, what we read, they are handling the funeral in the manner African funerals must be handled. To respect the dead. To bury them with dignity. President Buhari died in London. He was brought home. We too have shown that example by burying all the 5 before the 6th president. Near here. I think it's just behind, isn't it? Near here, all the 5. So we've established a tradition, protocols in line with the African culture. So we must continue with that culture, no matter what challenges, what difficulties there are. And I can't say that we've continued engaging the family quietly. Maybe I should confirm that. We've continued engaging the family quietly, because that's what it should be. And we do hope that consensus will be reached. And I want to ask Zambians, first, thank you for your patience, and secondly, to ask you to retain that patience as discussions continue. And so,
thank you very much. You are watching Emmanuel Mwamba Verified. We are privileged to host Dr. Fred Membe and Dr. Cosmas Musumali, top leaders from the Socialist Party. They have taken time in the last hour to discuss the state of our country and the proposed solutions. The phones are buzzing. I'll invite both Dr. Fred Membe and Dr. Cosmas Musumali just to take a few times to understand what our people are saying. I'll begin to pick the calls. Please call on that number. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Kindly speak a bit louder.
Good evening, Mwamba. Thank you very much. Of course, considering the situation, I would request that I remain anonymous at this time.
Yes. I
have a couple of things that I wanted to make mention. I know that following your program, I don't need to necessarily wait for you to acknowledge that you are listening, so I assume that you are.
Yes, we are listening. I've disconnected the system so you can hear me. So I'll be holding the phone. I don't want the challenges we had the last 2 days. Until I resolve it, I'll just be holding the phone. I'll not be using the system. So we can talk, but just speak louder.
I appreciate very much. Just a few things I wanted to mention to the comrade Membe there and comrade Musumali there. Today we had a very unfortunate situation where the Electoral Commission of Zambia has stated that any political party which is not taking part in elections should not wear party regalia, or they run the risk of a 60,000 kwacha fine. I want to just hear the general comment on that aspect from our guest there. Secondly, I just wanted to find out from yourself about this issue that has been discussed widely, where we're talking about opposition unity and so on. And it is my considered view that for opposition unity to work, the person who comes on top of this arrangement must come from a process that is generally transparent by all and not imposed by one body or one particular entity. Do you, as an opposition political party, feel it is possible to have an arrangement where there is some level of primaries that are conducted so that a leader that emerges from this arrangement is acceptable by all the parties? Finally, allow me, if I may, just for the comrade member there, if for some reason, and I'm not saying that this is what is going to happen, if for some reason you are particularly not chosen as a flag bearer of the flag bearer of the opposition alliance, will you still go ahead with the opposition alliance, or you go it alone? And finally, please, finally. Socialism is a concept that is widely misunderstood. What I want to find out is, how do you expect to reconcile your socialist policies with those of other political parties that are in the alliance? Thank you very much. I just want to thank Emmanuel for the effort that you're putting in. Really, it is something that is really appreciated, and we're looking forward very much to what comes out of this. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Kindly be brief as you make your remarks. I've got another line. Please introduce yourself and make your contributions.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Mwamba. And thank you so much, Dr. Musumali and Dr. Membe. I just want to say, my name is Patrick Chilufya, and I'm calling from the diaspora. I'm calling from the UK. I'm so excited to listen to both Dr. Musumali and Dr. Membe. You guys are true leaders, because what you are saying is what every Zambian, even us in the diaspora, we want the oppositions to get united, come together, because our country is in a crisis. And if this government, I for one was a member of the UPND until last year when I resigned. The moment I saw that things were not going according to what I believed in, the principles, what they promised, I realized that they were going to be problems. People couldn't believe it when I said I'm resigning. And people now can see it. The country is in trouble. And if we don't get united, we are in trouble. But then, how are we going to get united? How are we going to choose the leader? But Dr. Musumali and Membe, the diaspora played a very big role in bringing UPND into power, both raising money and also coming up with policies and ideas. The diaspora, Membe and Musumali, is so exposed. A lot of countries now, they've got what is known as the Diaspora Advisory Council, advising presidents because of the exposure. I, for one, if you advise me to come and look at the corruption in Ministry of Health, I'm an expert. I've worked for NHS, one of the biggest institutions in the world. I know how hospital institutions work, how we can stop corruption. I don't need a job as a permanent secretary or as a minister. I can sit on the board of the if whatever you create, a hospital board or whatever, and I can advise on how we can combat corruption in the Ministry of Health. There are doctors like Dr. Kajila, one of the best neurologists in the world, based in Canada. Dr. Kajila told me that you don't need now to move from Canada and come and operate a person in Zambia. With AI, Dr. Kajila can operate somebody from Canada. So these are the things we need, because by Dr. Musumali and by Dr. Membe, it's ideas that build the world. So if we need to come together, and I like the idea of Zambians leading, because leadership is not about one person. We've made a mistake, giving so much power to one person. Leadership is a collaboration and a collective responsibility of all stakeholders, the political parties, the executive, the ruling government, the opposition, the church, the civil society. And then another point I wanted to say is this is a suggestion. I know there will be different political parties, different ideologies, different ideas. You need now to use those stakeholders, the church, the civil society. You can form what is known as a leadership forum from the church, from all the organizations. And that leadership forum can come up with a strategy on how we're going to choose the presidential candidate, and as well as the running mate. And also start coming up with policies, transitional economic program. And I like the other thing about leadership, people-centered leadership. Leadership is about people. Leadership is about finding solutions to the greatest challenges Zambians are facing. I rest my case.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chilufya. Patrick from the United Kingdom. The phone is buzzing. Please just be brief and make your contributions. Let's see how many we can quickly take. The president is taking some notes. Tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, Mr. Manamamba. Good evening.
Good evening. Please make your contributions quickly.
Thank you. My name is Andrew, calling you from Zambia, the capital of Lusaka.
Wonderful. Make your contributions.
Good evening, Mr. President and Dr. Musumali.
They can hear you.
Yes. So first of all, Ambassador, I'm very elated. I'm very pleased to hear that there is that willingness from Dr. Membe to collaborate and work with other, opposition political parties. I think that is the call from all of us Zambians who mean well for this nation. We want to see that the opposition come together, for a common good. I just want to encourage you, Dr. Membe, don't be discouraged. Of course, it's going to be an uphill battle. Don't be discouraged. A lot of negativity is going to come along the way, but eyes on the ball. We know, me personally, I'm convinced of one political party that I feel does not mean well for the United Front. And Ambassador Emmanuel, I'm not even going to shy and read about the bush. Citizens first, they don't seem to be willing to join hands with other opposition parties. I think I've heard President Kalaba on many forums, are not really indicating his willingness to join hands. I think he thinks he can go it alone and in 2026. So I hope that President Hari Kalaba is listening, and I hope that he's going to turn around and join hands with other political forces.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, let's take some more calls. I can vouch for Honorable Hari Kalaba. He was on the program yesterday, and I asked him the same hard questions I'm asking our presidents here. And he also said he will submit himself to united opposition. I don't know what he has said in the previous statements, but at least yesterday on my forum, he demonstrated willingness. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Vamamba.
Good evening.
Yes, I'll be very brief. Listening to Dr. Membe, I've got tears in my eyes. I think this is the kind of maturity we need in the Zambian politics. Everywhere you look, parliament, judiciary, there is need to bring sanity. And my question to Dr. Membe is, as a roadmap, can you commit to something like a CODESA that we had here in South Africa, so that we can actually iron out all the problems, not all the problems, but most of the problems that we are seeing now in the Zambian politics? Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. He's calling for some form of CODESA, Honorable Fred Membe, and he wants you to help form that. Let me take the last call for this session, and we allow the leaders to respond. Then I invite you. I know there are so many people calling. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba. I will remain anonymous.
That is well.
Good evening, Dr. Musumali, Dr. Membe.
They can hear you.
I'm happy that you have appeared on the program, and you have said quite a number of things. But I have got three or four questions for both of you, Dr. Musumali and Dr. Membe. Sir, looking at the political landscape and perceived human rights abuses in Zambia, are you considering maybe taking the government of Zambia to the to the International Court of Justice? Number two, on the election malpractices, we have seen ECZ conducting elections in a very compromised manner. Are you also trying to engage the American Embassy and the European Union, who are some of the sponsors for elections in Zambia? Number three, looking at the trend of the UPND government, it's like everyone influential, every potential person to be involved in active politics or to stand as a president or an MP, they are being slapped with criminal charges in order for them not to contest. Dr. Membe and Dr. Musumali, are you not scared to be slapped with criminal charges so that you don't stand in the year 2026? Those are my questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Maybe I'll pass over to this particular call was the first one to call, but they kept on missing it. Let me just take this one, then we... my dear brother, quickly tell us your name, where you are calling us from, and make your contributions.
Hello, Manuel. This is Ben Shimaloa. Welcome the two leaders who are there.
Yes, Ben, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from UK. My name is Ben Shimaloa.
Thank you, Ben. Make your contributions.
The previous caller who said us in the diaspora, you should not include everyone, because I'm on the WhatsApp group for people in the UK. So it's balanced. So it's not everyone who's supporting that. So what I wanted to say to the two leaders is, you've been to school, and what is the probability that what you are going to do is going to work? Because the moment that Mr. Membe and the other ones are not going to be put on the cabinet where they are just about 28, whatever ideas they have is not going to work. Now again, what they need to say is, can you tell the Zambian people what you are going to do? How are you going to employ people? So it's like these people are letting it, you are just using tarnishing your friend's name in order of winning votes. It's like Zambians just want to hear the bad part. But I want where you need to put things that you are going to do that will make people vote for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me hand over to the president. The calls are buzzing. The calls are buzzing. But Mr. President, there are various calls, some requesting you to help put up the CODESA. What is the roadmap to this opposition coalition? Others are saying the human rights practices and abuses by President Hakainde Hichilema. Are you considering any other action outside the jurisdiction of this country, such as the ICC? Then the ECZ, can they deliver a free and fair election? And then the fear of President Hakainde Hichilema's brutality, where he has gone for all presidential candidates and he wants to lock them up, probably to disenfranchise them an opportunity to stand. I think pick up from any of these issues that our callers have raised, then we can go to another set of callers.
Thank you. Let me get started.
Okay.
And I'll pick up a number of those issues that have been raised. Maybe let me start with the one of criminal charges. Aren't we scared of criminal charges against us and would be locked up? The truth is, if we had any fear, we would not be where we are today. We are Zambians. We are products of Zambia. We owe everything. My generation, for me and for President Membe, without this country, without the Zambian taxpayer, we will not be where we are today. I come from a very humble background. My school was funded by the Zambian taxpayer, and I owe everything to this country. What I can give back to this country is a little bit of experience, a little bit of knowledge that I've gained lifelong. And I've had 6 decades of learning. I have seen how other countries survive, how other countries are governed. I have worked for different organizations in Zambia, outside Zambia. So I have a little bit of experience. We don't fear anything. We don't fear being arrested. That's the last bit of issue that we have to deal with. I think Mr. Hakainde and the government have to fear the Zambian masses. They can lock us up, but that won't take them anywhere. Any repressive regime in this world that has locked up people, that has not been the end of the story. There are younger people, more radical than some of us that are behind us. Part of what we do is to create cohorts of younger people, younger leaders. That's part of our work. We are not alone. We have young people, very radical, very Zambian, very Pan-Africanist, that are coming behind us. So deal with us, yes. You can even kill us. But there'll be 100 more coming up, and you have to deal with them. At the end of the day, the people will rise up, and you can't arrest 22 million Zambians when they decided against you. Even just half of the Zambians, when they decide against you, you can't arrest all of them. Our job is to speak and to say what the people are saying. They may not always have the chance to say it. So if you shut my mouth up because you lock me up, you take me out of circulation, there'll be more others coming. And they'll find more better ways, more effective ways of articulating their political issues. So let's come to the issue of ECZ. ECZ is slowly and I would actually say in a strong way becoming a liability to Zambian democracy. We have dealt with ECZ several times. We have engaged them. We have advised them. We have written to them. And as things stand now, ECZ has become an organ of the UPND. We are getting into 2026 elections with an institution, an Electoral Commission of Zambia that is highly discredited. The only way out here is for Zambians to say, we are working with a discredited institution, but we won't allow it to behave the way it's behaving today. We have to be more vigilant. We have to ensure that a number of things the ECZ is trying to do are stopped because they're unacceptable. They are basically destroying this country. When elections are no longer credible, when an institution that stands for elections, that monitors, controls elections, is no longer credible, what are the options open to the Zambian masses? We don't want to end up in a situation where we start looking at other ways of changing governments other than through the electoral process. So a lot is at stake. You can't have a situation where regalia becomes an issue in a by-election. What should people be wearing? That's the branding of a political party. You are selling yourself to a political party, to the masses. Why should regalia become an issue? And the speeches and the rulings coming from ECZ of late are unacceptable. So should we go to the US, should we go to the EU to complain about ECZ because they fund it? We should talk to everyone. We should complain to everyone. But I think the people that we should be talking to more are the Zambians. The Zambian voters are the ones that we should target more. Not necessarily because we are talking to the Americans, to UNDP, they put in some bit of money. That we do, and we have several channels for doing that. But it's the Zambians that we should be able to talk to on an everyday basis about how rotten, how discredited the ECZ is, and what we should do to ensure that at the end of the day, we force them to behave and to do the right things. Let me come to the issue of president, because a number of the contributors have alluded to the fact that opposition political party unity may not be possible, or is going to be very difficult, or what's the methodology that it is going to use to choose a president. Is it an issue that's not valid? No, it's a valid issue. But I think it's narrow. Because leadership is not just about the president. Yes, the president in Zambia has a huge say. This is a presidentialist system. So the one you choose to be president carries a huge responsibility. But leadership is collective. The president can never be a MacGyver. And President Membe here talked of, we are looking for a collective genius, collective accountability, collective leadership. That's what we are looking for. And amongst ourselves, we have some seasoned people. And those have to take the leadership when it comes to constitutional and to legal reforms. We have people around Zambia that are good when we talk of the economy. Zambia is not short of people that are leaders in handling economic issues. Economic issues not for the sake of multinationals and a few political elites, but economic issues, if you talk of monetary policy, you talk of the fiscal policy, you talk of the macroeconomic issues, the sectoral arrangements that benefit every Zambian. We are talking about economists, we are talking of social economists, we are talking of sociologists, political scientists that have a heart for the Zambians. We have a lot of those people, and they can provide the leadership when it comes to the Zambian economy. We do not have to be preached to that you are giving $2 billion worth of mineral royalties to the multinationals, and then at the end of the day you turn around and then tell us we have generated FDI, foreign direct investment, worth $2 billion. It's a contradiction, because this is money you could have raised easily and reinvested in other areas. So why go around about it? Zambians are the owners of this country. The wealth of this country belongs to Zambians. If we don't own our wealth, we'll never be able to control it. We'll be slaves in our own country. And we have been slaves since colonial times. And that's what we are even up to today. We have to decolonize our minds. We have to move differently.
Thank you, Mr. General Secretary. Mr. General Secretary, allow me to bring in the president to give his views. Then we go back to the phones. The phones are buzzing. I think people want to speak to you, want to air their views, and I want to take another set of questions. Mr. President, give us your views.
Ambassador, just one comment. At least I'm free to talk about him.
Thank you.
As an individual, the way I know him, President Membe. When we started the Socialist Party, we were looking at leadership. And we looked around, who are the socialists? So we said, you are part of this group, you are a socialist from childhood, because we have known each other since childhood. Take up the leadership, or we go there, become a candidate also amongst the people that want to vie for this position. President Membe refused. We had serious discussion with each other. We brought in a number of other people. 18 months, that's 1.5 years, we struggled to convince him to take up the leadership. He said, we formed the party not so that I become president. We formed the party to change the way Zambia is governed, the way the policies of this country are put together, the way the people of Zambia participate in running their own country. That's what we are doing. We did inform the Socialist Party so that Fred Membe ends up becoming a president. He refused for 18 months. At the end, we convinced him, and we talked to other people close to him from the churches, from the trade unions, that you have social capital that you have created, especially after having been with the Post newspaper, and that you have also participated in a lot of the political processes that have taken place in Zambia since the MMD period. And with that, that's when he said, I will go ahead, but I'll only go ahead if the party is going to run along collective lines, in the sense that it's not Freddie Membe who is running the Socialist Party, but it's a collective, it's a group of us that are sitting together making decisions. And that's how the Socialist Party has run. Freddie Membe doesn't make decisions alone. Every decision that comes out, even when he says as president I've done this, it's because several of us have met. Several days we have debated issues. So Freddie Membe is not in this game to become the president of Zambia. He's in this game to change, to be part of that change. So when you ask if Freddie Membe does not become the president, is he still going to play the game? Which game is it? This is not a game. This is about people's lives. Zambia will be there even when Freddie Membe is long gone. So Freddie Membe does not have to be president to make changes to this country. And he insists on that. He's adamant about that. I thought I would bring this issue because he...
Yeah, thank you very much. I can testify to that. There are times I've had private conversation, and when it is a political matter, he says, no, I'll get back to you. I need to consult. Yet we have this view about Fred Membe that he makes decisions alone, and I've personally gotten surprised. Mr. President, can ECZ deliver a free and fair election?
There was first the issue of regalia. It's an infringement on our freedoms. Freedom of association and freedom of assembly, freedom of expression. I have the right as SP member to wear an SP t-shirt and go and campaign for any party that I want to support. In my own party regalia, our party participated in the Lumezi by-election, parliamentary by-election, in which we supported the Tonse candidate under NCP. Our members were participating in our own party regalia there. We have had our members participate in the Karurushi ward by-election, in which again we supported an NCP candidate, a Tonse candidate. Our members went in their party regalia to demonstrate that solidarity, for people to know that the candidate fielded by Tonse is not just for Tonse, it's for all of us. I don't think what ECZ is trying to do is backed by any law. This is jungle law. It's an unacceptable behavior. What is troubling them? What is eating them up? Coming to the issue of us being lumped with all sorts of charges so that they convict us and we don't participate. Is that scaring us? Tutila uingira omushitu tomfu enswaswa. We are not scared. And this has been tested before, and it has failed in Senegal. They locked up Sanko, who was the leading presidential candidate. What Sanko did was to get his Secretary General, who they had released from prison, to stand. And he won. And freed Sanko. Sanko today, the Prime Minister. It won't get them anywhere. How many people have been locked up in the world? But change has still happened. How many leaders have been arrested, charged, sent to prison? And the changes they were seeking happened.
Hakainde himself.
Hakainde himself went to prison. He came out and became president. So it's not about us being locked up. They can lock us up, but there will be other people who stand. It's not just 1 or 2, 3 people, no.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let me just take a few more calls for your attention. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from, and be louder. Sorry, Mr. President, let's allow us to take some questions. Yeah, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Thank you. Cosmas Anonymous. Thank you. Mr. Mwamba, I want to say thank you very much for the President. He's a very good man, so I have to speak in my language in Zambia, although I am somewhere. But I have to say, like you, Mr. President, you are a very good man and you've got a heart of forgiveness. You remind me of Wanawakwi. Wanawakwi was a very good lady that we had owning the lands of the women to learn as the presidents in this country, Zambia. And we miss her because you forgive people. You forgive people and you forget. That's what I like about you people. Barikalava, Bamembe, and other presidents. Because you forgive. But when we come, Kulibakateka, the one who is here in Zambia, the country president we have, yes. When he hates you, you are for just go as if you are gone. You are finished. So please, can you unite, work together? I mean, you are a very good man. You know where you're coming from, and we love you and we need you because we know Zambia depends on people. So,
thank you, thank you. He's talking about unity, and he's comparing you to Edith Nawakwi, who had the heart for our country. Good evening, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from, and kindly speak a bit louder.
Yeah, my name is Paul Schlenga. I'm calling you from Germany. I'm sure President Membe and SG Musumali knows who I am from Kapirimponshi constituency. Yeah. So I had like 2 questions for the 2 leaders there. The first one was I just wanted to say, it's a good thing that they are coming to join and have like this united front that they're talking about. My 2 questions were, the first one was in an event that they come together and form this alliance. How the socialist ideologies come through in that government that will be formed? That's my first question. And then my second question was, what's the roadmap for the Socialist Party beyond 2026? What happens beyond 2026? Will the Socialist Party be absorbed in these other political parties? Thank you.
Thank you very much. He's asking about your proposed socialist united front and the possibility of socialist program on the matter. And he's also asking about the roadmap beyond 2026. We'll take about a few more calls, then we allow the President and the GS to answer. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling you from I'm just texting you. I'm in Canada.
You are in Canada. Wonderful. Make your contributions. Speak in the phone, my brother. You seem to be away from the phone. Speak in the phone.
Yes. Am I clear right now?
Yeah, you are better. That's better.
Yes.
Oh. Just a minute. Repeat. We didn't hear you. Repeat. You're calling from Canada and make your contributions.
Yes, I hold a different view, and my view is, in the first place, you discuss about the repatriation program, and I heard, and on that one, I heard a view that since the sixth Republican president was the president of the Zambia, so he's supposed to be buried in a dignified manner in Zambia.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
and again, on the other point, you talked about there's an issue of tribalism in Zambia. Of course, there is that aspect, and that aspect, how can I put it? It has been there, like.
Oh, Canada says the 26th president, the Zambia 6th president must be put to rest in a dignified manner, and that tribalism is an odd matter. I've got our dear brother, the Catholic priest who's based in Italy, Father Oscar Mansa Pombo. President, he has some contributions or questions. Don Oscar, make your contribution.
Thank you very much. Greetings to Dr. Fred Mumba, Membe, and Dr. Musumali. That is our pleasure to have listened to you. I'm happy that you have come on board to unite with different opposition political parties. I have to be sincere that I doubt the position of President Hadi Kalaba. I doubt. How I hope even President Hadi Kalaba would think seriously and come on board. And this is just my encouragement, I think, to Dr. Fred Membe, Dr. Musumali, and to all the Zambian people, including the UPND. Next elections, according to me, should be liberation year. We need to liberate ourselves from indirect foreign economic dominance. Indirect foreign economic dominance. So the Liberation Day, 1964 was Freedom Day. 2026 might be a good day to call a Liberation Day, where, as you have said, Dr. Fred Membe, we can now take our economy in our hands. The Zambian people can become millionaires. So I am appealing to you as opposition leaders to just come together. That is the motto. Come together. Let us liberate. We are going to help even the UPND to liberate themselves from whatever has been planned or has been given to them. So that then 2031, you can have now a political contestation. We can bring back the democracy, the freedoms of expression, and we can respect the Zambian constitution. So I think 2026, my appeal is this. Regardless of whoever is going to get the presidential candidature, please let us just come together. Even the UPND, those who are disappointed, are welcome in this opposition unity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's Donosco from Italy. I've got another caller here. Caller, please introduce yourself and make your contributions.
Hola, my name is Chanda. You know me very well. I'm very glad Donosco has called you.
Mr. Chanda from Australia.
Yes. And Bamembe, how are you? I pass my greetings to you, my elder brother. You actually know me very well. That you are not going to pick it, but I will remind you. Now, I've not spoken to Oscar, Father Oscar Mpombo. These sentiments I passed to you yesterday, Vamwamba, and this is something that is worrying about us we need to kick HH out. Of course, now I've just come out. It's just going to be ruthless, you know. He's also worried a little bit about Wakalava. We feel a bit of unstableness in banding together. Can we sort this out, Wakalamba? We kick out this elephant. I used one sentiment yesterday. I said, we need to get HH out. It doesn't matter. Now we are not scared. Can we finally just come together to get rid of this thing that is happening?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wakafwimbi, I think your message is very clear. The opposition must unite to look at the removal of President Hakainde Hichilema. Let me take the last caller, and I invite the President and the General Secretary to make their contributions. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from, and introduce yourself.
Good evening, thank you. Let me just go straight to the point.
Okay.
Yes. Nachafa kulanda pachiro chabalungu. Nachumfa point vacharanda vamembe kwe vati no balungu vashikira fyokukwine. Importance yakushikira balungu mu Zambia yakwe vati kuchichikaleta ku healing kubantu abena Zambia abengi. Kuri abenga kwanisho kuya ku South Africa ngefe bamembe benga kwanisho kuya ku South Africa kuchiriro. Nomanga bena Zambia ba mwajoje baralosha shanyu balungu. Ukuleta unity mu kyalo. Ichiriro kiraleta unity mu kyalo. So imwenga emwe baleranda pali unity. You need to encourage family y'abalungu to balete ekiriro mu Zambia abantu baloshe chifume kumutima because abantu abengi abena Zambia bamutababiri bano bilivo kutabashita barafika ba point ya kushiningisho kuba church ne marungu alifwa. So ugisa loshishi chapamo chara afu abantu abengi bali at least abantu bali rafine baba kwati healing yaisa, like they come to reality to say yes indeed barungu balifwa. So ichiriro chira leta unity. So if you talk of unity, you need to encourage balungu bashikiwe mu Zambia, not ikulanda fekuba no uyu nga tafiri okusangwako. No, we shouldn't think like that. You need to unite our country. In uniting our country, we need to make sure that we come together. People, Zambians were coming together from all walks of life. So why should we do it different? So Chari Wamangen Tungushi, Tureto Mutende, how are we going to bring unity? Let's bond together, not to be divided.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I noticed someone has sent me a private message, but let me see if they can. Linda Banks from the United Kingdom. She's a guest. She sent a question to Dr. Membe, but let me see if she can speak her own views. I hope she's available, but she sent a question to you. But to the callers, I prefer that our people hear their own voices. Linda, good evening. Sorry, I put you online. I saw the question that you sent. I'm hosting Dr. Fred Membe and Dr. Cosmas Musumali. Introduce yourself, where you're calling from, and then make your contribution or question.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. My name is Linda Banks, and I'm calling from the United Kingdom. I'm not actually in the United Kingdom right now, but that's where I reside. A quick question. First of all, it's really great to see the two formidable politicians being hosted by you, which is fantastic. So my quick question is, Obviously, I'm following the program with keen interest, but I want to find out from Dr. Membe, what's the guarantee that when we vote this opposition alliance in and kick out HH, that you won't do a 360 degrees flip like HH has done? Because as you know, Ambassador, I was one of those who, like Patrick Chinufia and the others, Father Pombo and the other gentleman from Australia, we were quite instrumental in helping get rid of the Patriotic Front. So if we supported another alliance, what is the guarantee that this new alliance is not going to do a 360-degree flip and just change, as Zambian politicians have always done? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. That's Linda Banks. As you've seen, the number of people that have called Chanda Kafwimbi from Australia, Father Donosco Pombo Mwansa from the Vatican, Linda Banks, and the other callers, they were part of a group in the diaspora that mobilized support for President Hakainde Hichilema. And they are the most vocal now because, like Linda puts it, he's done a 360 degrees. He's disappointed, all of them. But you've had various questions that you should consider 2026 as a liberation year. I think that's the gravity of the crisis our country faces, where our people think that next year should be regarded as a liberation year. Meaning all forces, all hands on deck, everyone, all social formations must work together. And you in the political leadership are privileged to mobilize this movement. Mr. President, I'll leave you time to answer to all these questions. Then we can come and take the last 5 calls. The phones are buzzing, but unfortunately we can't go on forever. We have to let you on. Thank you.
Let me start by saying, generally, political ideas are worthless if they are not inspired by noble, selfless sentiments. Likewise, noble sentiments, noble ideas are worthless if they are not based on correct and fair ideas. We have been categorical in saying what we are seeking is not just the removal of Hakainde and his party and replacing himself as an artist. What we are seeking is to change the way this country is governed. Nachitila tekuchinja fechipani chireteka nakateka kuchinja emitekere. Ngata tuchinjishe emitekere, there will be 360 degrees. There will be U-turns. There will be disappointments. We have to ensure that there is meaningful participation by our people, by the authentic leaders of our people. Participation that is not given to them as a way of a favor by a president, by some benevolent president. It must be participation that is authentic, that is real, and that is guaranteed by the laws of this country. We are insistent as Socialist Party that power must be shared with other leaders. It can't just be the politician alone. Even in other countries where we copy a lot of things, like the UK. The UK is not only governed by the Prime Minister, no. The head of state is the monarchy, the king or the queen. You have the Church of England, it's part of the state apparatus. You have the House of Lords, it's part of the state apparatus. You have the Commons, the House of Commons, Chintu Wing, led by the Prime Minister. And you have other institutions of that society that actively participate. And although we talk of the UK as one country, there are actually 4 countries there. There is Scotland with 5 million people, with their own assembly. They make their own laws. We have Northern Ireland. We have Northern Ireland for the Irish. They have got their assembly. They make their own laws. They have a certain level of autonomy. We have Wales with 3 million people. They have their own assembly. They have got their own system of governance. The UK is not governed the same way everywhere. And Zambia is too broad to govern the same way by one person. If we continue with this system of governance where one person appoints everybody, decides everything, is the alpha and the omega, we insist that there must be a change in the way we govern our affairs. We are not saying let's copy from anyone, but let's draw some lessons from others. Let's draw some from others and do our own thing.
Will you do a 360 degrees?
If you want one person called
Mr. President, will you do a 360 degrees turnaround to the commitments you've been making while in opposition?
We insist that power has to be shared with yourselves. In that way, nobody will dribble you. You have been cheated, you have been tricked enough. It's time for you to have your resurrection. You have had your Calvary. But that crucifixion on Calvary should have its resurrection now. It's true we are seeking a liberation. We can't continue the same way. We need a liberation that will give us a fourth republic. We have been on this path for 60 years plus. Things are not getting better, they are getting worse and worse. Poverty levels are increasing. The poverty is increasing. And at a very fast rate. Today, our national average population growth rate is 3.5. For the rural areas, 2.7%. For the urban areas, 4.5%. This means in less than 15 years, the population of Zambia will more than double. The estimate for our population this year is 21.9 million. The survey or the census of 2022 gave us 19.6 million. So in less than 15 years, the population of Zambia will be more than 40 million. If we continue with this system of governance, how are we going to be able to provide the necessities of life to our people when we can't provide to a 21 million? How are we going to provide for more than 40 million in 15 years? What are we doing to improve education to be able to cater for increased population? Health services, housing, food, and so on. Our coming to work with others is not for us to lose our identity as a socialist party, to be swallowed by others, no? And we have no intention also of swallowing any other party or undermining the identity of any other party that we operate with. But there are fundamental things that on which we have to agree as a minimum program for all of us. All of us are seeking a better life for our people. And if we are all seeking a better life for our people, there are certain fundamentals our people need to have to be on that path to a better life. We have to agree on education as a priority. We have to agree on health services as a priority. We have to agree on agriculture and food as a priority for our people. We have to agree that 25% of our budget should go to education. And education should be socialized. We need to agree that at least 20% of our budget should go to health services. And our health services should be socialized. We need to agree that government attention should be paid to ensure that our people have enough food. We have to agree on policies to make sure that we benefit from the natural resources God has given them. And also they participate in mining. These are fundamental things we have to agree with our colleagues in the opposition. And so far, we seem to be on agreement. These are what socialism is. We are not abandoning socialism. After all, what is socialism? Socialism is not about bombastic words. Socialism is there to ensure that people have access to clean water. They have a solid roof over their heads. They have 21st century education and health services for themselves and their children. And all the other services required in an organized society. That is what the socialist program is. Socialism means increasing people's participation.
You can mention the private business also.
And also ensuring that our people participate in the private businesses of this country. It should not just be left to foreigners. We have said it, and we are saying it again today, that the Socialist Party in government, even in an alliance with others, will ensure that we have more millionaires than we have ever created. We are not against business. But it has to be business carried out primarily by our people. We are not against foreign cooperation, foreign enterprises, no. But the people who are going to develop this country are Zambian businesses. The government has to ensure that an environment is created for Zambian business to prosper. I think we can reach agreement with others on these fundamentals. This is our minimum program at the Socialist Party. So far, the people we have been talking to in the opposition, they are in agreement with these fundamentals. They share these views. We have spoken to people in the churches, our religious leaders. They agree with this program. We have spoken to traditional leaders. They are in agreement with us. Yes, these are not easy things to achieve. And they need the cooperation, they need the support of all of you. If they are left to one MacGyver, one genius, they will not be achieved. You will be disappointed again.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let me just cut you briefly. Let's take the last 5 calls, and Mr. President and the General Secretary, we allow you to take some rest. I think this has been an interesting program, and the concept you are crystallizing of the united front, I think, has been very clear. Caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and your contributions.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name's Roy Chamatsuru. I'm calling from within Lusaka.
Roy Chamatsuru, make your contributions.
Roy Chamatsuru, I'm from Lusaka. I'm calling from Lusaka. Greetings, my compliments to Dr. Membe, Musumali. My contribution is on the socialist market economy. When you look at the ideologies which the president is talking about, I have a question for him. Okay, when you look at the socialist socialist ideology, it all borders on the pursuit for common prosperity. What the president is trying to emphasize there is that it has to be public ownership, leadership. Okay. Whereas when we look at the the capitalist market economy based on private ownership. So when you look at these two ideologies, they're quite different. The capitalist is based on private ownership, whereas the socialist is based on public ownership. In this country, we need to take ownership. Now, Mr. President, I have a question for you. I'm a citizen, I'm a voter, and I want to hear from you what the Socialist Party would do. When you look at the industrialization in Zambia, and you look at the service trade, when you look at the industries I want to know how you address these issues. When you look at the industrial, we'll talk about the machinery industry in Zambia, okay? You look at the automobile industry in Zambia. You look at the information industry, the domestic trade, okay? You look at the financial industry. You look at the agriculture industry, okay? You look at the construction industry. You look at the water conservancy in Zambia, okay? You look at the energy industry, and lastly, the tourism industry. I want to hear from you, Mr. President, how you are going to do it differently. I want to hear from your standpoint how you address those issues.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tsulo. Let me cut Mr. Tsulo. I think his views are very clear. What you do with let me just take as many quickly calls as possible. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Yes, from East London, South Africa. Make your contribution.
Yes, I'm for Okulanda Coffee. In Pariwakola, Mamona Chumfako. Then I want them to encourage. Worship Panga Coffee, Kulvaki, was to a president. Then was Perakofa Myra, Scrivarama presidents watched the old before. Because Wakalabari Kia, Kurando Kwevati, Vali, Tukumbana Monse, Vali London Kwevati, before Tavarasa Kurimwe, Vali Mone, Vali Navaruvinda, Vali Pereko, example, I'm surprised. Amakolas or most time emphasize son of Kuranda Pariwakalava, which is not good. So Vambia one, two, Quachibatuma progress. And they tell us, Ruino Mutima, Mukonkanyepo. Konkanyepo, nature Mimishe. Ukachika tachikava mumwe aba kurubagi rwasuma ababa bakubi muri basura fe mwira bakonga pantu abaranda mashwa yabi barasta training suma so na nguba Mr. Provoke na nguba leta actions first wisheni fe pari constitution amendment inga ya pitafye mwaruisha tabamichiringenye mukuchita amend yo constitution. Then kuntanisho kutulea ndero mbako wakateka wa secretary na ngwale Mr. Shani ataki boseni fya maano mukupeka nyemi kalire sofo ngala tuteka pantanisha batulea pantu muku chita provoke mu bale mpangire mirani so ngwa Mr. Provoke kwate nje mitima shachi wote nura bakonga awaba ndo bashikwete amano boseni fya maano muku panga ubikaro wa pantanisha fe mwala tsunga fwe bena Zambia.
Thank you very much from East London. Let me just see if I can take these 5 calls. I think I've taken 2 so far, remaining with 3. Please introduce yourself and make your contributions. It's cut. Let's see if we can take 2 other calls, and then we allow the president to make his closing remarks. We've had so many missed calls, but I hope you can, the 2-3 lucky calls can come. But looking at time, I think let's just wind up. Mr. President, let me come to you and the General Secretary. I think let's begin to wind down the program and allow you to rest. And thank you for according so much time to this program. They're saying no, I'm calling, please let me. Okay, let's see if we can take the 2 calls I promised. Hello, good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador. My name is Isaac. I'm calling from United Kingdom.
Isaac, make your contributions.
Thank you, Ambassador. Greetings, President member as well as our General Secretary, Dr. Musumali.
Thank you.
Mine is a concern, is more of a concern. The trend which we have experienced in the past 4 years is in Zambian, where we have seen Zambians to be missing, gone missing, has been abducted. Mcharo. There is an issue concerning surrounding the young man called Francis Kapwepwe, popularly known as Waimi, who's believed to have been abducted, and the Padikano Kashatiro Mfukwebati, Moyo Wakwe was cut short. That it's been a month, or we are going now into 2 months, but there has been a silent voice from be it opposition, political parties or leaders in opposition, as well as the church and other could be civil society organization. Zambians will be going missing like in the manner that this young man, so-called Waimi, has gone missing, and we don't know at this point where he is and where he's about, that we should if he's alive or added to share that we should. Through honorable president Freddie Membe, na ama leaders wonse mu opposition, ama church motherboard kuloresha po pali welfare ama Zambians, because seva chakwebati nomba abantu, they are even going as far as mfyaro fimbukia mkuchitashani mkuya mkuchita abduct abantu nokuba rufya munishita kwa T50 chitike kuli wainet. So tuliabasa kama nokubanga ama Zambians noku diaspora na totera ambassador.
Thank you very much. Thank you. The last caller. Just a minute. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from, and make your contributions.
It's even here now, Mr. President. This is John Njebe.
Mr. John Njebe,
one of the former councillors.
Former councillor in Mandevu. Make your contributions quickly.
Mr. President, according to my analysis, we made a mistake when privatization came in. That's where the whole problem started in. You know, it's like you have a Land Rover which is working at your house, it's being living. Then you sell that Land Rover, then you continue producing the children. Zambia sold all the companies, but if you look at the position of the population right now, it has grown. We don't have resources, we don't have companies. Even in China, I've been to China several times. The companies, like for the company which produces beers in China, is owned by the government. The government must have a say in the running of the economy. The governments must own companies in each district, in each constituency. That's why we made the mistake. Privatization killed the Zambian economy. No wonder we are fighting like this.
Wonderful.
We're not supposed to privatize things at a very fast note. No. Even in UK, they have not finished privatization. Even in America, even in China, even in Russia, you need to own some companies as government. So the next government may have not seen any politician who is talking of coming to revitalize or bring the companies back into the economy. I have not seen any politician talking like that. I always support the politician who want to say, okay, we are going to own coffee plantation, we are going to own tobacco plantation in Chipata, we are going to own sugar plantation in Mazapoka. That's the politician I will support. If you want to believe in privatization, forget the economy won't grow, poverty will continue like this, prostitution will continue like this, people will be just killing each other because they want to be resources. You can't have a country whereby all the minerals they are being taken away by the foreigners. You can't have that. You can't. And people who have done this, they will pay a lot to God.
Thank you. Oh, I want to kumutima just now, finally, the last caller. Last caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from so that we can now begin to wind up the program.
Good evening, Uncle Mamba.
Good evening. Who's calling?
I'm Mwape Mlenga calling from Zambia, Lusaka.
Mwape Mlenga, make your contributions quickly.
Yes. Good evening, President Membe.
They can hear you, thank you.
Yes. My contribution.
Yes, please proceed.
Yes, my contribution is. I'm just saying. I just want to say that all the opposition, please, let's unite. Let's unite and select one person to stand as the opposition. That why minina bonse pamubana nkane ba opposition. Twarundula obufumu bwakwalesa n'okukula ekyalo kya Zambia. Otherwise n'abatukyusha abantu aba tatukwete nangu fese yonse. So tulelomba sana ffe kuli wonse mwebale eitoko bati ama president ikataneni pamo so that mulubule ekyalo kya Zambia. 2026 tufuye twachinja baeche bena barafu mafuna ba UPND bawo. Kumakafe yakwalesa fye omwene.
Thank you. The phone is buzzing, but that was our last call. Mr. President, let me hand over the microphone to you. There's a particular matter that has been raised by Isaac from the United Kingdom, the abduction of Waimi. There's another gentleman that was abducted before his family, Ton Konga Sakashenda, a Chingola businessman, was abducted in January 2025 by police officers from the Zambia police and from Kitwe, and he's never been seen. The cases of abductions and the issue of Waimi. Then we can go to Roy Chama Chisulo, who was saying the socialist market economy in relation public ownership and private ownership. I think that's what you spent time to demonstrate. The differences and your approaches are totally different, but you are good to come on this. Johnny Njebe, former councillor, he says he's been to China, he's been everywhere. He hasn't seen an effective economy without state participation. He's asking for your views there. Let's take it up from there. Then we begin to make your concluding remarks. For our callers, I'm so sorry. We just have to let our leaders take time. Mr. President, the ball is in your hands.
Maybe I could get started. Deal with,
yes, Dr. Musumali.
Two issues, one on the diaspora, and then the issue of ownership of our economy, and then I hand over to the President to make his conclusions today. So, talking about the diaspora, because I realize your platform is well attended by people who are outside the country. So it would be befitting as we close also to say one or two things about our citizens that are outside the boundaries of Zambia. Being outside the country and earning a living does not exclude you from the economic, political, social decisions of this country. In this globalized world, you're a global citizen. Wherever you are, that's your home. Your home in terms of earning a living. Most likely your children have been born in that place. And emotionally also, there's an attachment to the country that you find yourself in. Also, when you look at the history of development, there's no country that has developed as an island. Countries develop by learning from each other. And you build social capital, you build ideas by looking at what others do. The best practices are the ones that are shared. And these are carried not by machines, not by just books, but these are carried by people. It's the people that know the culture in Zambia, that go out in the diaspora, you see how things are done, and you contribute by ideas, by bringing capital back into Zambia, by your remittances, and even just with ordinary suggestions. So you can't stay away from what is happening in Zambia. And as a Socialist Party, we encourage and promote your participation. There are many ways and many examples how countries have been successful by using their diaspora. Historically, Europe will not be what it is today if it didn't link up with the outside countries or outside continent. Where would the USA be today if it did not tap on Europe? And where would Japan be today if the Meiji Restoration was not there? Where would China be today if it did not open up to the outside world? So even Zambia, we are not an exception. You are the conduit for ideas. You are the conduit for capital. You are the conduit for development. But when you play a role in the politics, be clear as to what you expect and ensure your expectations get met. You can't participate in a process that you don't have control over. So yes, you may not be a member of the political party, but as a diaspora community, you should now, from now up to the end of this month, bring out your ideas on the different things that are happening in this country. And also set your expectations clear. And with that, don't allow a government ever to use you. You're not a ladder that governments can climb on and then kick you out when they get up the roof there. You are part of the development of Zambia. So let me quickly go to the issue of ownership of the economy, because the issue has been coming up in different ways. Again, as socialists, we are not naive. We are not going to build a socialist society in 10 years, 20 years, and even in 30 years or 40 years. We are going to build a Zambia that is fair, that's just, that's equitable, on the thresholds, or on what we have today. And what we have today is part of a globalized capitalist system. We are at the periphery though, and we are still poor, but with lots of potential, huge resources that are at our disposal. There's one issue that drives an economy. That's the funding, the finances. Today, 65% of the money in circulation is public. This is highly monetized public expenditure. Although the government budget is only about 30% of the GDP of Zambia, but this is very highly monetized. Banks will not survive in Zambia if it were not using public resources. Because of that, if you ensure that Zambian money, the public sector money, goes to Zambians, you start developing your country. Every economic activity must be funded, and it's funded normally by the country itself to a larger extent. So if you look at Chinese businesses, they are prospering because they've got funding from China. Americans, if it's an American money, it's very difficult for it to go anywhere else. It goes first to Americans, but you can't have 65% or so of your money in the banking sector, and Zambians are not the ones controlling the banking sector. If you look at the assets, the ownership of banks in Zambia today, will not be mistaken if only 5% are Zambian owned. Less than that, actually. Again, Zambians don't own their banks. If you don't own a bank, you can't control it. And if you can't control it, you can't redirect the funding to benefit Zambian businesses. And again, let's make it clear. When we talk of Zambian businesses, this can be the state, parastatals, this can be cooperatives owned by Zambians collectively, this can even be the municipalities owning businesses. It can be a mixture of public, private. It could be organizations owned by Zambians themselves, and that's why we put priority, and we have never hidden it. We have always said that Zambian money will go to Zambia first, and then on the second place, we are Pan-African, so African countries, African entrepreneurs will be given the priority, even in terms of incentives. We are not saying away with foreign capital, with FDI, but we have to look at what we have first. What we are doing today is we are getting our money, giving it to foreign banks, and these foreign banks are like suction pumps, taking out that money. If you are a Zambian today, it's not easy to get credit from within Zambia. The interest rates are too high, and you can't develop an economy that way. So again, as a Socialist Party, we are not going to nationalize those banks, but what we will say is public sector money, the government budget, is not going to go to the private sector, to the foreign-owned banks. So those in the diaspora, those of you that are in banking, feel free in a socialist government to come and set up your banks. So the payroll will come to you. Government money will come to you. Treasury bills, you have the first priority. And that's our obligation to this country. We want to develop Zambia, which is a mixture of private and public and cooperative enterprises. And that is the way countries develop. You harness your own resources to benefit your people first. We are not puppets of imperialism. We are not going to get our little hard-earned resources and give them away the way it is happening today. The president talked of mining. Our mines belong to the Zambians. At this hour, you have the financing, we have the resources, and where we need the resources, we might bring them in under equity terms that are favorable to us. We don't have to surrender our independence. Control of the economy is about your independence. And we talked of liberation 2026. It's a year of liberation. Indeed, it's about economic liberation. It's about decolonizing our minds. And whether you're capitalist or socialist, it doesn't matter. But our first priority is going to go to Zambians. And that's what we stand for.
Thank you. I can invite the president to respond to some callers and make his last remarks.
Ownership of the economy is fundamental. You cannot control what you don't own. As Dr. Musumali has pointed out, today we only control 2%, 100% of our banking sector. Our banking sector has got $12 billion of banking assets. Only 2% of it are 100% owned by Zambia. Then we have a partial ownership of 26%. That is through our 20% in Zanaco and our 40% in Indo-Zambia. Only 5% of our financial sector is under the control of Zambians. Those who control money control your economy, because money is like blood in a human body. It's what it transports nutrients. If we don't control our financial sector, we will not be able to control and own the mines. We will not be able to control and own manufacturing. Even the big agricultural projects will not be undertaken by our people. Only the missing people, the abducted people, is sad. But this is what happens in a society when human dignity is lost, when values are lost, when standards are lost, when common aims are abandoned. Lastly, I would say it gets dark, and indeed it's dark now. But the morning comes. Don't give up. Don't despair. Don't lose yourself to vices. If we struggle, we will win. And we must struggle. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, thank you very much. And Dr. Cosmas Musumali, I've been pursuing him for 2 years. He just couldn't come to my platform. And Dr. Membe, thank you that you brought him along. And, we had views and sides. I think we've done very well. You've introduced a very, very strong term here, the United Front. That is just not political parties, but all social formations, the church, trade unions, and others should band together. Linda Banks and others are saying next year should be our liberation year. So it's like we had the fake liberation, in 2021. They had the fake liberation. The real one and the real test is in 2026. So I'd like to thank you for gracing my program. I think this was an inaugural program to come and discuss, especially what the callers are asking, the specific nature of your programs. I think we have to bring you the second time when you have time. Today was just broad perspective of the state of our country and your perspective, to the issues affecting our country and your position on uniting the opposition, and I think those have been very delivered. For our members that are, for members of the public that want keen issues and specific issues, I think when Dr. Membe and Dr. Musumali have an opportunity, they will come back. Yesterday, we hosted Honorable Harry Kalaba. Like one caller said, many people are roasting him. I don't know what communication he has made, which appears that he wants to stand alone. But on yesterday's program, he was categorical that he's willing to be led, he's willing to lead, and that he's willing to work with others. So people can watch yesterday's program. We'll bring more of our national leaders to the platform from the church, from trade union. I think it's about our country and our commitment to our country. We may do an update tomorrow regarding the issues around Zambia's sixth president, Dr. Edgar Chagwalungu, and the current standoff between the state and the family. You saw President Hakainde Hichilema, when he went to the Nigerian embassy, he says we should respect our former leaders, and he claims that he's privately speaking to the family. He has a habit of saying that when it is not true. He used to say that he speaks to President Edgar Lungu, and President Edgar Lungu was forced to come out and said he's never, the last time I spoke to him was in 2022. Similarly, here he was posturing that he's persuading the family and he's speaking to the family. What we have seen is an onslaught and assault on the family spokesperson, and the legacy of the former president. We might use an opportunity tomorrow to discuss to all those. So, Dr. Membe, Dr. Cosmas Musumali, and the team that is with you, I'm grateful for staying this late. God bless you and God bless our country. Shalom, shalom. We'll see you tomorrow. Let me just see if I can play where is your program?
A gentleman who claims to be a consultant, or who is calling himself a consultant of UPND, who communicates very closely with Mr. Hichilema, publicly said, I'm joining UPND because the Socialist Party has collapsed. Even madness, even malice, even hatefulness should not take us to those levels. I've never been a member of the UPND. I'll never be a member of the UPND. I've been around. If the Socialist Party fails, we have other things to do. We have other forms of struggle to wage. But it won't fail. The Socialist Party is here. It will outlive me. I'm not the Socialist Party.
From what we see, what we read, they are handling the funeral in a manner African funerals must be handled, to respect the dead, to bury them with dignity. President Buhari died in London. He was brought home. We too have shown that example by burying all the 5 before the 6th president, near here. I think it's just behind, isn't it? Near here, all the 5. So we've established a tradition, protocols in line with the African culture. So we must continue with that culture, no matter what challenges, what difficulties there are. And I can't say that we've continued engaging the family quietly. Maybe I should confirm that. We've continued engaging the family quietly, because that's what it should be. And we do hope that consensus will be reached. And I want to ask Zambians, first, thank you for your patience, and secondly, to ask you to retain that patience as discussions continue, and so we can.
Kana de potimo wimbo watemenwa katongi abazunga batita katongi nakula kwibukiza kateka kaibukubuna kapona neseko syove pameso yangwa baume baya iyaba baume iyaba baume
kateka wabantu iyaba baume twakulila lelo twakulila shika kukonke milimo shove Leti kume moku ndolole amale lilo wingi iseko wingi mwakwete iseso wingi mwakwete mwaya mwende wino tata wesu
katusi muchi wakege wali bomba kale nomba mwatuja tulelilake Ukula bebyo wati tobwingi Ibisebo wapangili obwingi Ukuchinjo lusako kumoneko busaka Mama, kutituwa na basiani